Hey there everyone, this is Seb and welcome to another Let's Play series. Wow, it's been a while since I've done one of these, hasn't it? But we're here now and we are going to play through Freedom Planet, and I am playing this on Steam. Now before we dive into the game proper, this is meant as a little introduction to the Let's Play series and the game in general, and yeah, if you're just interested in the game proper, then head on over to the next part, which should be up by tomorrow, where we actually start the game up. Now I'm just going to give you a bit of an introduction here to how I want to play through the game, what you can expect, but also tell you how this game is a bit special to me, because yeah, this game is actually the game that I wanted to play last before I fell off the face of the planet. So, you know, it also feels a bit like unfinished business to me. Now, Freedom Planet is a fantastic little indie game, and it's one of the few, well, nowadays there's more, but few earlier examples of a successful Kickstarter campaign. I did not back the Kickstarter. I don't tend to do that in general because there's way too much shenanigans going on in that department for me to really trust that stuff. So I usually just wait for games as they are released. Sometimes that's a big if, unfortunately. And you know, I'm happy to buy a bit of a more premium price then. Which is also something I did not do for this game. I got this during a Steam sale, I think. I don't know exactly when. You know how it goes during Steam sales. You buy a whole bunch of cheap games and then you forget about half of them. And this was a game that seemed like nice to me, but it seemed like it was really talked about it as a Sonic clone. So I kind of put it in my memory like that. It's just a Sonic clone, whatever. And I never actually checked it out. Now, fast forward to around 2016-17, I was starting to really get into a lot of issues related to my health and my mental state because of that. I was feeling a bit down, and I felt like, you know, I just felt like being a bit distracted, felt like playing some Sonic, you know, as you do. And that's when I remembered, didn't I have that Sonic clone game on Steam? So I looked it up. Actually, I had to figure out what the name was, because of course I forgot. And I played it, and I was pleasantly surprised. Because, let me tell you right now, this is not a Sonic clone. Now, it started as a Sonic fan game, and there's certainly a lot of inspiration from the Sonic games. You can easily see it, but it also does a lot of things on its own. And I actually want to go as far and make the bold statement to say that this is the gameplay presented here would actually serve as a great evolution of the Sonic gameplay. It just does so much more that feels like it could fit in a Sonic game, but you know, a more advanced one. Like it really adds a lot of, especially combat wise, but it also makes exploration more interesting. And yeah, we'll discover all that as we go through the game. But yeah, it's a fantastic game. I highly recommend that you check it out. And also kind of interesting, back then I was pleasantly surprised by the game. I felt like, yeah, this is a fun game. Maybe I should do an LP. And then they announced the sequel, and I was like, wow, that's perfect timing. I wanna do that maybe in time with that. And they actually released a demo, the first demo. And to my surprise, the sequel, is now slated to release next month, I think the 13th of September. So it's very nice of them to wait for my Let's Play, I guess. But yeah, it's real silly how things work like that sometimes. And I'm really not sure why it had such big delays. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that game as well, I guess. Although I don't know too much about it, haven't really looked too deep into it. But yeah, first we are going to play Freedom Planet numero uno here. And it's a platformer, as I said. It's a lot of inspiration from the Sonic games. There's not much in the way of different options here. Screen size ×4 is basically full screen. There's a bunch of languages, always nice. Always nice to see indie developers just add a bit more things to make games more accessible. And there is sensitivity, which is an option. I don't actually know what it does. Interestingly enough, this game also has another incentive to actually explore the levels, because there is a gallery and you can find a whole bunch of star cards in the levels, and you know, they are displayed here. Now, it's good to know that during this Let's Play I will not show you the location of all these cards, because, well, my memory just doesn't work good enough to remember where 10 cards are in each level, and some of them are hidden pretty well. So you really need to explore the levels a bit. But this game does so much more with exploration and the different playstyles and how you actually reach different areas through different characters, that that's really one of the strong points. Like in the Sonic games, it's kind of, you rush through a level and there's no incentive to actually explore. Here, exploring is actually a legit playstyle to just enjoy. Then there is a time attack mode, you know, just for speedrunning purposes, which is always good in these kind of games as well. And there's the main game, of course. There's 4 difficulty levels. There's casual, where you basically cannot die. It's laughably easy, but you know, it's a good option to have in here. Easy is fairly easy. Then there is normal, the way it was intended to play. And if you play this for the first time, you will probably die a bunch on this as well. And then there is hard, which is seriously a step up. It's not impossible. I did go through the game on hard one time, and I actually enjoyed it quite a bit when I actually knew how to play the game a bit more properly. I do think there is a step missing in between normal and hard, because the thing they do is, on hard you take double damage, which makes it a lot harder in and of itself, but also the bosses. Some of the bosses will just be a bit more difficult, like they move faster, they might change up the patterns a bit more, and yeah, I'm not confident enough in particular those bosses to just play through hard on this. So I'm going to play on normal and probably still die a couple of times, because I'm honestly not great. But you know, it's fun regardless. There's a bunch of checkpoints in the game, so you will never be set back too far. And this game also has one of the more kind of effective game over screens, which if you play this for the first time you might see it's very effective, like the old arcade cabinets, but in the end it doesn't really matter whether or not you hit the game over or not. So we're going to play that. There's 2 modes. There's classic mode, which strips out all of the cutscenes, so you can just play through the game, which for a lot of people is the way to play, honestly. There's also adventure, which I will be playing through to show off all of the story bits. And the story is really the most dividing factor of this game, I feel. And I think I kind of enjoy the story. I really like the energy that the actors are putting into the voice acting. It's kind of hammy voice acting, but in the setting it really works. Like, you get this Saturday morning cartoon vibe, and it's just lovely. And you just know, also through the bloopers you can access, you know these people had a lot of fun in making that. So I really enjoy it. There is 2 issues I have with the story, however, and one is a tonal issue. The game just never really settles on a singular tone, and it can be really happy-go-lucky at times, and then all of a sudden it gets super serious and kind of dark at times, and that just you're just left feeling a bit more confused than anything. Like, yeah, you get a tonal shift, you get a shift in your emotion, but you feel cheated out of it because you were not expecting it, because the tone was different. So that's a shame. On the other hand, there is a big pacing issue, and that is twofold in itself. One is the pacing of the story is just poorly executed. There is a lot of information front-loaded, stuff of which a lot of it is never ever mentioned again or resolved. And also there is like stuff in the beginning is like over-explained at times, where you see everything that the characters do, and later on there is gaps. Like the style just changes. It's like the back half is a bit rushed in comparison. Like it would make sense on its own, but just because you have that experience of the first half, it makes little sense at that point. And another thing is that the pacing is just off with the pacing of the game itself. This is a fast-paced platformer game, and you know, if you play a level for 5 minutes and then you have 7 minutes of cutscenes, that just feels a bit off. You can always skip the cutscenes, but then again, you want to see the story as well. So, you know, you got that. And it's a shame because there are bits of storytelling within the levels, and these work extremely well in this game. They really merge us fine. And then it's just odd to have like these long drawn out cutscenes with a lot of filler talk, which is fun, but it wasn't necessary and just breaks the flow of the gameplay, and that's a bit of a shame. Now, I do understand that originally there were hubs intended for this game, which makes sense in that sense, and you know, with hubs you can automatically make that more dynamic, like the player can more naturally choose how much of the information they want to take in before they head out. And that is something that I hope they really improve in the sequel. That would be awesome. But yeah, those are the things that I think are the worst parts of the game, and you can skip the worst parts. So overall, it's just an amazing game. Now I am going to do this Let's Play in a bit of a directed way, where I will cut things up because there is a free. I hope they don't have fleas, but there are 3 playable characters here. And whoever you play as, the scenes and actual levels might change up ever so slightly. It's not enough where I say, okay, I'm going to play through the game and show it off 3 times. So what I do instead is I will play levels a couple of times, and I will just comment on the bits where I think I'm going to use that, and just cut those bits together. So, you know, I might split a level in 2 or 3 characters, but everything I say I will talk and play at the same time, so you still have a little still have the Let's Play experience, but I did cut up the levels to make I hope, one coherent flowing story as much as possible, at least. So yeah, we've got Lilac the dragon. Yes, she is a dragon. We've got Carol the wildcat, and we have Milla the third wheel. I mean, loyal dog. Great. Haven't even started. Already pissed off the loyal fan base here. Didn't have to tell them how awesome this game is anyway. But yeah. These are anthropomorphic animals, so this is also one of those games where you'll probably be happy with the safe search option in the in Google. I know I am, because I will need to find something for my thumbnails, so gonna have fun with that. But yeah, that's about it for this introduction. Join me next time as we will start the game proper with Carol going up first. Hope to see you then. Until then, take care, and see you next time. De mazzel.